Morning, this is the River Frome at Moreton in Dorset. It's very close to where T.E. Lawrence, as Lawrence of Arabia, is buried in the village cemetery, and the church where where the memorial or where the service was held all those years ago. And there's some lovely lovely, there's a funeral, but some great photographs of the church after the funeral with Winston Churchill and all the dignitaries. And we've been to this area several times with our folding camper, and this was the last time we used it. Last year we've sold it now because it's getting too hard and too old to put up now, or we're getting too old to put it up. And when you look at a picture like this, you think, how can I put all that in? How can I paint? Well, the answer is you don't put it all in. You select and you simplify and you make it yours. You need to get away from the idea that you have to copy it for it to be right. You don't. You're making a piece of art based on something that you've seen, on some reference material, photograph, drawing, sketch, something. And here we've got lots and lots of greens. It was September last year, so it was very, very early autumn. So what we've got a bluish sky, we've got reflected in the water here, and some reflections which are too indistinct to be able to see because it's in overexposed shadow. And we want a background, so the background, we put it in blue, light blue, bit of alizarin, and then when that's dry, go over with a bit of stipple with some brilliant yellows, because the yellow on the blue will still give an impression of distance because of the blue. And then we can just put a little bit of reflection in the water there. We can't put all these trees in and we can't put all those leaves in. So we just do an approximate impression of it. But here we've got some little ripples in the water. I've got my cup of tea. For those that still ask me what colours I use, here we are. I'll just move that now, put it where I can see it, because I'm just still going to use it as a reference, and I won't show you it again. I'll just zoom in. Okay, right. So we've got lemon yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey, and burnt sienna. 8 colours. I don't use them all. But my 8th colour is the burnt sienna. I need to squeeze out some more paint when I finish this, ready for next week. I'm using a new 2-inch or 45mm wide 8 inch and 3/4. I bought 2 of those. My other ones are just wearing out now and misbehaving. But it's an inexpensive brush considering it does so much. So there we are. I've got the board at about 45 degrees. Right, so the first thing I do is to put in, I'm just going to put this neat photograph where I can actually see it in front of me. Put it there. Right, so a bit of a blush of warm raw sienna, just to give a little overall tint, and then we'll go a bit of ultramarine, when the brush splits, just dip it in the water, pull out any loose hairs. Bit of alizarin in there, just a touch. And that's where we've got that reflection, so we'll put that in quite dark. There. Okay, so we're going to cover a lot of that anyway. Just a deeper blue in there, bit of alizarin. Now what I'm going to do now is just to take off the shine of the paper with the hairdryer, just to fix it. Well, a little tip, when you're looking there towards the horizon, you're looking low down in the atmosphere, just reclip paper. No need to stretch your papers before, this is £130 Fabriano, but any paper that works, that's not too expensive, is good enough for this. But when you're looking down at your feet, the angle up is reflecting overhead, or not far from overhead, so it will appear darker than this bit here. That is not reflecting that, it's reflecting what's much higher overhead, because the angle between your eye and your feet is much more acute. So remember that. Right, now I'm going to put in a bit of a background. So I said we'll do a bit of blue, a bit of alizarin in there, same colours behind, so quite a high horizon, leave a little bit of sparkle, and that goes all the way across there, disappear behind the main foliage. Now we're going to put a bit of yellow and a little bit of ultramarine, and then we'll just put that in there, the bank. As you can see, quite a bit of that bank coming down here, a bit of sienna in there as well. And then we're going into some reflection there. And a bit of Payne's grey with that green. Just putting in a little bits of shadow on the bank here. And while we're at it, we'll put the reflection in. We can add to that in a minute. So that's the background generally, and the rest is going to be covered up with some foliage. So that would be a bit of reflection coming in. This all dries lighter. Goes in now. I'm going to put in some. We'll wait till that dries a little bit. We'll just put in some of this heavy green, so Payne's grey, burnt sienna, quite thick, and lemon yellow to give us our lovely greens. Get more warm in there. See, this is all in shadow here, and the bank is sort of coming around here. Let's put some nice warm colours in there. And as that dries, I'll put some heavier stipple in over this, and we can just some of that. We'll go over that with much darker paints in a minute when it dries, and we've got the same over here. So plenty of Payne's grey, plenty of lemon yellow. Need a bit of water on the brush. and burnt sienna, or you can use burnt umber. Just to get these shadowy greens, and they come right over. Get the shape of that. Leave some sparkle in there. And there are some trees reflected in the water here, and I can't see where the bank is going, so we'll just have a bit of imagination there. And then you can see that's water here, so there are some pebbles or sand or shingly bank in here. Can't see much here, but I'll put something in here to represent that now. Okay, now that's sufficiently dry. Then I think I can put in some heavy lemon yellow or slightly green. Let's bring that green up a little bit in there, just for. Okay, so that's that. Right, now that's drying up quite nicely, so we'll put in some heavier colour now. Now, because we're using student quality colour, we haven't got that intensity that you would get with the artist quality. Need more dark in that. So you don't want to leave everything to be exact. It's just impossible. I couldn't do it. Right, now just get a cloth and dry the hake. Get it all broken up. It's a great brush for this. Turn my screen back on. And then we can detail it afterwards. We've got some lighter stuff in there as well. I think I might have missed it out a little bit. Okay. Right, I want some green in there, so a bit of lemon yellow, a bit of raw sienna. And dark in there now. And that's where it's dark. Let's put a bit of blue in. The reason this is all dark is because the camera overexposes, exaggerates the shadows, and our danger is putting it in as we see it. Okay, then we've got some detail in there. Now I'm going to put some detail in put the trees in, the trunks. There's nothing very big. See if we can bring it together. Now, bit of a warm colour, but you don't want too much water on the brush. Okay, so now we can put in all of this, and then some bigger ones. You know, we can't put them all in. You can only just be a bit selective. If you get a chance to look at Ron Ranson's work, if you haven't already, he got it right. He just put just enough to suggest. And the rigger can do the rest of that. I'll put some really good dark in. There, just to right. You can't see much over here really. It's lost in the murk, but I need to put in some rigger work. Okay, that'd be enough for there. And we'll put in some grey in here, just to anchor the bases of the base of the trunks. Okay, right, now the rigger. We've got some branches hanging down from above, so I'll give my hake a bit of a dry. Well, I've got my rigger, also finished my tea. I need some more dark in there. So we're doing a lot of selection. This is it, when you copy my work or I copy someone else's work, remember that the artist who you're working from has done all the selection for you, so you tend to forget that. So I've made this easy for you to work from if you do actually want to work from it. But you don't have to do the ruthless sifting out of what you want to put in and what you want to leave out. Right, okay, that'll do for that. Now we've got some. I want to put in some little bit of detail in that background just to bring it a bit closer. So use a bit of blue and a bit of yellow. Bit of Payne's grey just to give it a hand. Let's just put in some shadow in here. Okay, something like that. A bit of blue in there. And then we can put a little bit of detail in there. Let's just put in some ripples, some dark blue. Don't know if this works or not really. We've got some shadow coming across there. Right, I want to put in some darker stuff there, so I'll use blue, grey, burnt sienna. Just okay, well I'm going to let that go. I think that's enough done. I'll put a signature on it. Don't think I'll put any birds in. Right, we'll put it in a mount. And we'll have a look at that. I think the blue mount, because it's got a lot of blue in it. Stay there, don't move. So there we are, that's my version of simplifying a River Frome watercolour for a photograph of what I took. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let's bring you round a bit. Get that in there. Right, let's zoom out a little bit. So there's an overall impression. I will show you the film, or the photograph. There it is. Oops. And that's my version of it. See, it's just an impression of it. The details left out. Oops, sorry. The details left out. And I've just put in the essentials. We've got the centre light coming through the painting, contrasting with all this dark. But I've left enough sparkle in it to give the impression of the sky coming through. Some of the colours are fairly accurate, others are not. I can't sort out what this is anyway, I can't see it. It's not shown in the photograph. So I've had to invent it and more or less paint what I see. So have a go, don't get discouraged with your hakes. They're wonderful brushes and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.